Record. Right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Glad to see everybody here. Like I said, we're going to be talking about scripting today and how important it is having conversation skills in real estate. I think it's a very underrated skill because a lot of people look at, the way that they do things, and it's like they just think, oh, I just need to do these open houses, or like, these are a bunch of leads I just need to dial, but they're not really thinking through their processes and how you're coming across to the client. Because if you think about it, one of my newest habits, which I have since I started real estate, is when a salesperson calls me. And before I hang up with them, I always love to listen. And I like to see what kind of scripting and what their tonality and everything sounds like. And I can tell you that about 99% of people that call me on the phone that are salespeople have horrible scripting, have horrible tonality. There is no skill, there is no practice behind what they're doing. And because of that, I want to get off the phone immediately with them because I can recognize immediately that they're a salesperson and it feels salesy. And that is why there is that resistance. And so that's why scripting and like the way that we talk to people is so important, because when you are creating resistance, that's creating a barrier that you have to break through. You're making your job harder for yourself, right? So the whole idea is with our scripts and the way that we're talking to a client is, how do I get that wall down? Because that's the second I'm going to start to get the information that I need from them and I can start to build rapport, right? So that's why all the scripts and everything that I'm going to talk about and the things that I use, you'll notice we are giving the power or the illusion of power to the person who's on the other side of the call. The second that they feel like they're in control, they all of a sudden, right, feel like, oh, I'm safe. I'm okay. I'm controlling the conversation. I'm dictating things. But here's the tricky thing is they don't even realize it, but you're controlling the conversation by giving them the illusion that they have control, right? By the way that you're stating and the way that you're doing things, but you're actually leading the conversation without them not even realizing it, right? That's the tricks behind it. And that's what changes to a high level sales tactic. And there's very few times that I've been on the phone and I'm like, he's good, because they'll even try to use some of my close the same terms or like the same closes. And I'll be like, I'll even compliment them. I'll be like, look, dude, I know what you're doing. I was like, I do these same things on calls. I'm like, I'm going to hand it off to you. You're great. But I'm like, I'm still not interested. But I appreciate that, that you master your skill or that you're working to become a better, person on the phone. But I challenge you guys in the future, before you hang up on a salesperson, stop for a second and listen to them and ask yourself, what is making me want to run for the hills listening to them, right? What is it about it? Is it the tone? Is it the words that they said? Is their entire approach? Did they use my name? Like, just break down that conversation for a second and ask yourself what's making you run, because it's going to start to stick in your mind more and more, especially when somebody's like, when you realize, wait, I just stayed on the phone with them, or I didn't immediately want to hang up. Why? What made me want to linger? Like, what made me want to stay around? And most of the time, it's curiosity. It's creating like a curiosity loop, because if there's curiosity there, then you're curious, you want to stay. You're going to want to hang out a little bit longer. Same thing when we're talking to the prospect. We open a curiosity loop, right? And then we're going to close that loop by answering certain questions or leading the conversation where we want it to go. Curiosity kills the cat. That's the same thing with the prospect, right? So we want curious, and we come from a place of curiosity all the way, right? We never look like we're prying, but rather our scripts fall into a place of, I'm very curious about certain things about you, right? Or just out of curiosity. It's very disarming, and it's going to cause the client to want to have more intrigue in what we're saying. So I'm gonna share you guys. I'm gonna share my screen, and I know some of you guys have seen this script book before. But I want you to see it again. We're going to go through it again. And yes, I will share it with you guys after the call. Um, we're going to talk first on the tried and true FSBO, because I think it is the most underrated lead form of lead that is out there. It is one of those that's fantastic for getting closings. And, these are people that actively want to sell. They're some of the best listings, I feel like, sometimes too. They're really great houses. And when you can convert this type of lead at a high level, it's wonderful. But the first thing is coming from a question. But here's the thing: if you don't break down this script, you're not gonna feel the different things that we want to feel here. But the first thing is hi name with a question mark, right? So there is something I've added to this script, and it is a smallest little gesture that I'm gonna give you guys, right? So notice I have these sheets of paper with me. Okay. So the first thing I'll be doing is I'm going to be holding it kind of close to the phone to where y'all hear that? Y'all hear those kind of, all right. I'm going to have them in hand and ready, right, when I'm talking. It can even physically be your script if you wanted to, if you want to print it out and have it on paper. I don't recommend reading your script because people will read through that BS immediately, right? They know when you're reading from something. So first of all, with the script, you need to have this committed to memory, right? And it needs to be part of your DNA because that is when you're going to truly master it and you're going to be able to start using it at a skillful level. So if I'm reading this to somebody, they're going to know immediately. But if I can make it something that I say naturally and it comes to me naturally, then it's going to feel much more like a natural conversation and it's not going to feel scripted. So I'm just going to use Mary, for instance, and I'm going to be here. So let's say, the phone rings, ring, ring. Hello. And I'm like, Mary? Mary? Is this Mary? And she's like, yes. Hey Mary, this is Drake. I was calling about a home that I saw for sale. Is it still for sale by chance? And she's gonna be like, well, what are these papers? Like, why does he sound confused? There's a lot of intrigue there, right? So, and she's gonna go, oh, okay, great. Look, I'm a realtor, but before you hang up, I was hoping to ask you a really quick question. Would that be okay? All right. Why did I ask it that way? Why did I ask permission? You muted Daryl if you were trying to talk. Sorry.
You're given in a sense of control, right?
That's it.
I was about to say removing their guard is what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's the same. It's the same thing. Y'all, those are both exactly what I was doing, right? And remember, we're giving them the illusion of control of the conversation, but who's really in control here, right? Me. So I'm saying, I'm a realtor. Listen, before you hang up, right? Because we know they don't want to talk to us. I'm acknowledging. I'm getting rid of that right there off the bat where I'm like, I know you don't want to talk to me. I'm expressing that right from the get-go. Look, before you hang up, I was hoping to just ask you a really quick question. Would that be okay? All right. Illusion of control, curiosity loop just opened, right? Because I just asked him, I just want to ask you a really quick question. That's it, right? All right. I see that you're selling your home on your own. I completely respect that, right? I am already going to tell them, look, let's stop and think about this for a second. From a real estate standpoint, we think to ourselves, you're an idiot if you do for sale by owner, right? We are so much better. We can get more money. But the truth of the matter is, some people are experienced enough in real estate, or maybe they've done enough where they actually could sell it on their own. And there is a very small percentage of for sale by owners who actually do it, right? So for me to acknowledge, hey, I see you're selling on your own. And let me tell you, I completely respect the fact that you are doing it. If I was in your situation, I would do the same thing. Now, let me tell you, how do you think they're going to react hearing that from a realtor? Right? I'm just being real with them because I'm like, here's the thing. If I was in your situation, I would do the same thing. I've even told them, hey, I think it's smart that you're doing that. Right? If you can save the commission, why not? Right? If you have all the capabilities and you think that you can do it, sure, why not? It's smart. Give it a try. Right? I was curious if you're open to the idea of a realtor bringing you a buyer for the home if an offer made sense. Right? So I'm asking them basically, are you open to a buyer's agent commission? Right? Are you open to a buyer's agent compensation? So I see you're selling it on your own. Look, Mary, I completely respect that. And I think it's smart in this market for you to do it. I was just curious, right? I'm coming from that place of curiosity. My tonality says everything. I'm not having a demeaning tone. I'm not having a I'm taking control tone. I'm having, look, I completely respect the fact, Mary, that you're doing this on your own. But look, I was just curious. Are you open to the idea of an agent bringing you a buyer for the home if the offer made sense? Right? You see how that's very disarming but it's asking a question. Now, here's the thing. You'll have the people that are going to answer two different ways here. They're going to go, absolutely not. We just came on the market. It's obviously for sale by owner. Go die, right? Like the worst reaction you can expect. Or the other one is, no, we're open to that. Absolutely. Buyers agents, we're offering blank percentage. Now, here's something where some people get hung up on the script is they may say, we're offering a 0.5%. We're offering $10. We're offering 3%. What is my reaction to those different numbers?
Curiosity.
Right.
No, I'm saying
Nothing.
if they're offering 3% versus three almonds and a goat, what is my reaction between those responses? And
Nothing.
Nothing. Keep it the same.
it's the exact same. It
Yeah.
does not matter what you tell me. I have the exact same reaction and I'm moving forward with the script the exact same way. And I will tell them the exact same thing. Because here's the thing, they're trying to shake you off your game, right? By saying those things. They're trying to create resistance with you to make you run. But you need to show them that there's nothing that they can say that is going to shake me up or make me run because I'm confident in what I'm doing. Right. So if you tell me, hey, we're offering a buyer's agent percentage of 3% versus we're only offering 1%, right? A natural reaction from an agent would probably be like, I don't want 1%. I work for 2.5, or I work for 3, right? That's your inward. You have to fight that. And you have to say to yourself, it doesn't matter what they say. Great. Great. Thank you so much. Continue on with the conversation. I acknowledge and just move on. Really do not get hung up. That's where people get stuck. You can get in this conversation about compensation. We are going to cross that bridge later. That is not something we want to cross right now. Just acknowledge it and move on. Because also the truth is, whatever they say is never reality. It truly is never even reality. Like what they tell you right now does not mean that when you're sitting there across from them signing a listing appointment, that they are going to still offer you 1%, right? That's what they're saying right now. Maybe to deter you, or it's just how they want to play hardball negotiating. But everybody knows once a seller has a contract in front of them, a lot of times that tune changes. So that's why I'm saying don't believe everything you hear, just acknowledge and move past it. Okay. I've even said in some situations, I'm like, even if they're offering 1%, awesome, that's very generous. So perfect. I'm going to be previewing some homes that are for sale in the area this week, just like yours. You don't have to do the getting to work. I mean, at any time of the day that you're talking about it, you can ignore that part and just say, look, I was planning to look at some homes that are right on your street this week. And I didn't want to miss yours, right? Like I'm making it seem like this is just something I do on a daily basis. I go out into the market, I'm checking out all the homes in the area, and I didn't want to miss yours. I saw yours was on the market. I want to see it too, right? Because when it's business as usual, then they have no reason to be alarmed, right? We're not making them feel like we're singling them out in some way, right? So I'm going, okay, will you be home between 4 to 6 p.m. to show me the home if I could stop by quickly? Right? Again, I'm showing them I'm gonna be quick and I'm giving them two options, right? Or giving them like an option of where I'm going to stop by. I'm not asking when would you be available for me to stop by because that's so open-ended versus me saying, hey, I'm going to be around tomorrow afternoon between 4 to 6 p.m. Would you be available to show me the home real quickly if I could stop by? Right. So that's just saying, hey, I just want to pop in. I want to see the house. Right. It feels like that's something that's not a big deal. I'm in the area. I'm just stopping by. I'm going to swing in, see the house real quick, and then take off. That's the goal. All right, great. If they agree to it and they move forward, we're playing in the perfect world right now. We're not even getting to the things that they're going to throw up as things to kind of deter us and everything. We're just going to play perfect world. Okay, great. I'll plan on seeing the home tomorrow, right around 4. And in the meantime, I'm going to email you my agent information so that you have that on file. What is the best email for you typically? Okay. So the reason why I say I'm going to email you my agent information is in order for a lead to be a lead, what qualifies a lead is what I should say. Let me ask you all that question. What makes a lead a lead? When does it become an official lead?
When they give you their contact info.
Exactly. So in my mind, a for sale by owner, I have a phone number, but I don't have an email. So for me, it's hard for me to be able to continue to nurture that relationship if I don't have an email address, right? Because that's how I send documents. That's how I can do drip campaigns. That's how I can send them other presentations that I have, right? Or just different things, even videos through Dub or, BombBomb. So an email is that game changer. Now, I have had some people, can you just text it to me? Well, if you have an iPhone, I can text you a PDF. Correct. You know what I mean? I can send you something of that nature. But my goal is always by email. I'll usually say, well, it's a PDF. Would that be okay? I promise not to spam you. You know what I mean? Or I promise not to blow up your email, right? And
But
that can give them that reassurance. But most of the time, people will give you the email address. I will say that because I usually say it like, look, I can say, you can say this a few different ways, but you can go, look, I would love to email you over my resume, or I want to send you all my email information, and I'll even send you an invite to the appointment. That way, if you need to cancel, reschedule, you can do it right there, right? These are all reasons why I need their email address versus like me sounding sleazy and saying, I want your email address so I can spam you, right? Because that's immediately what they're going to think. So that's why I'm using these other things, right, to create some curiosity. But also, people are forgetting I am using this to differentiate myself. Because let me ask you this, how many agents do you think are calling people and then making appointments with them? But do you think that they're actually going to send them an appointment for their calendar and store it? Or are they sending them their resume ahead of time before they even go to meet with them? Do you think that's going to differentiate you above probably 50%, 60%, 75% of agents who are even making these calls? Because first of all, let's talk about this. There's probably 15 to 20% of agents that will even make this phone call, right? And then the ones who make the phone call and actually get an appointment, that's an even smaller percentage. Then the ones who are actually going to send them a resume, right, and get their email and show them that you're a true professional with your craft is going to be an even smaller percentage. So every little thing that I'm showing you guys, if you execute on one of these things, you are setting yourself above an agent with each step. The fact that you practice a script, that's strong. The fact that you will get their email address, the fact that you're going to send them your resume ahead of time, like the fact that you're going to change your tonality, create these curiosity loops. Everything that you're doing is setting you above another agent, right? So that's the goal. Is every little thing that I start to add on to these, it's a layered cake that's going to make it easier for me to close this person, right? Or to be the obvious choice. Because the thing is, they're going to meet with multiple agents sometimes, many times, right? I've been there before where they're like, oh yeah, I'm having a bunch of agents all come between the hour of 5 o'clock, right? I hate those. Those are the worst because then I'm walking through this house and I can't have a conversation with them because there's, two or three other agents all in there with commission breath. And I know everything that I would say would be way above, anything that they're offering, but I try to single it out. But if that does happen, in many cases, I'll be like, oh, great. What time did you say they're starting? Could I come toward the end? Could I be the last one to stop by? You know what I mean? So figure out when all the other agents are going so you can be the last one to have that conversation. Or if they said 5, show up early, be the first agent there, right? Be there 15 minutes early and just be like, hey, I'm sorry. My tours before were a little faster. I'm here a little early, right? And get your stuff in before the other agents get there. That's your two options. I usually would prefer to be the last one, set the best last impression. Okay, so this is
Drake,
the,
Drake,
oh,
may I ask a question, please?
absolutely.
I'm a little bit newer to the I'm a newer agent. Is there a difference between a lead and a contact? And if so, how do you guys define that?
I define a lead as a person I've had a conversation with, and now I've built some type of rapport versus a contact is just a number in an email, maybe.
Gotcha. So you've interacted. Okay. Just
Correct.
wanted to confirm. Okay. Thank you so much.
A lead means I've had some sort of contact with them. Then all of a sudden, now it's like, okay, you know what I mean? I have some sort of rapport, some sort of relationship. Sometimes they may not remember me, but that just means I didn't have enough, right, of anything with them. I may have had one conversation, but we haven't
Yep.
gone far enough into the relationship yet. But I will tell you this, the whole idea of these scripts is to get you toe to toe with people. Why do you think getting toe to toe with people is so important in these kind of situations?
To build rapport,
It
right?
changes everything.
Mhm.
It changes everything. That's why I say that. Your goal, guys, anytime you are talking with any type of lead, it doesn't matter what it is, you should always be trying to get toe to toe with them. not a phone conversation. Zoom is better than nothing if they can only do that. But like every single lead, you need to think to yourself, how can I get these people to get toe to toe with me? Whether it's to go grab a coffee and do a buyer's presentation or to physically go and look at their property. Like the sooner you can get toe to toe with them, you have just set yourself above every other agent that they might be speaking with because they might not have met him in person. Or if they did meet him in person, you might be that breath of fresh air of being that agent that just presents themselves so much better. They have better rapport with, they enjoy your presence much more. You're so much more professional and put together, right? So that's why I tell everybody toe to toe changes everything. Every single script, every person you're talking to, you should be always with the goal of how do I get toe to toe with this person? How can I get in front of them? I physically need to be in front of this person. Now, the whole goal of this script, there's two different scripts, okay? The whole goal of this script is if you guys are new to working with for sale by owners, our goal is for you to go and physically get in front of for sale by owners as many as possible because that's going to get you so much more experience and much faster. Because if you're not used to going and actually walk with a for sale by owner through their property, you need as many of those appointments as you can. Okay. So in the beginning, I tell people if you're learning with this for sell by owner script and you're going to give this a shot, start with this script because this is going to get you more in-person appointments. The difference of the second script is after I've done quite a few of these, right? I've gone on quite a few of these appointments and I'm getting used to the cadence of my appointment of actually going see them. There's a whole process of like things that I bring and things that I do on the script, on the whole visit. But we're going to do that another time. But the whole idea is here, I'm just getting as many appointments as I can because I want to learn the market. I want to learn the lingo. I want to get comfortable with going meet sellers, walking through their properties and building relationships with them. You're going to get better the more people you get in front of and the more that you do this. So that's the goal, as many appointments as I can get. Now here, we're going to go into this more high level version of it where we're going to now funnel these leads and we're going to find our hotter leads because in the beginning, the goal was to just get as many appointments as we can. And maybe there'll only be a few out of those that'll actually convert. But in this case, now we're saying, okay, I'm getting better at this. So now I can start to wind down these leads, make it a little bit tighter to where they're a bit more hotter. Like these are a bit more hotter. And the reason why we don't want to jump straight to this is because I want you to get the practice of going physically get in front of these people. So in this one, we're going to go name, same thing with the tone, right? You can use the upscreen the tone because we're using that curiosity. Daryl? Daryl? Daryl?
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, this is Drake. I was calling about a home for sale. Is it still available by chance?
It is, but we're trying to sell it on our own. We're trying to sell it on our own.
Oh yeah, no, that's great, man. Look, I'm a realtor, but before you hang up, I just wanted to ask you a quick question. Would that be okay?
Sure, sure.
All right, that's fair. Thank you, Daryl. So I see that you're selling on your own, and let me tell you, I completely respect it. I think it's smart that you guys are doing it in this market, but I'm just genuinely curious. Are you open to the idea of an agent bringing you a buyer for your home if the offer made sense?
Yeah, if you brought a buyer, that's fine. If you brought a buyer, that's fine.
Okay, awesome. Hey, appreciate that. So, do you still live in the home or have you guys already moved to another house?
It was a rental, so I never lived there.
Okay, that's cool. So you're an investor is what I'm hearing.
I just happen to own two homes in the subdivision. My partner happens to live there, so we rented one and live together.
Okay, right on, man. Yeah, y'all sound like smart homeowners right there. Now, if you got an offer right away, like let's say, today, tomorrow, somebody just sent you a hot offer, would that be a problem or you guys need some time to find a new home?
No, we live in the same subdivision, so it's empty. So no problem.
All right, perfect. So I see that you're going to buy, I'm sorry. Are you planning to buy locally or are you guys relocating altogether? Y'all moving out of the state eventually? What's happening?
Nothing's really happening. The house is a rental. We live about a quarter mile down the street in a different home. So this is just literally a getting rid of a home we don't need right now.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Are you guys currently actually looking for more properties to invest in? Just out of
No,
curiosity.
no, we just didn't want to manage this one anymore and just wanted to focus on not being landlords.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, I get it. I hear from landlords all the time. It gets a bit of a headache these days. People can be a handful.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Yeah.
And sometimes if they're like if they're being conversational, I'll never try to rush off the phone, right? So if I
Mm,
can ask even more questions, you can go outside of the script. And some of the typical things I'll be like, I'm just curious, how old is the roof? It looks like it's newer. Is that new? Or like, oh, what about the AC? Or, have y'all done any major upgrades to the property recently that have raised the value? And they always will, if they're gonna have that conversation with you, you're building rapport, right? So the more they talk, just let them talk, man. Have that conversation. Keep carrying it.
uh,
You don't have to stay married to the script, right? So, have you guys done any major renovations down to the property recently?
no, it's been rented by my cousin for 5 years. So just the minimal things that would need to be, that they would need a plumbing issue, small here or there, but nothing major.
Yeah, that's good, man. So people walking through probably wouldn't, nothing would jump out at them that would scare them.
No, no, it's just a lived-in rental. We're getting it painted this weekend, but nothing major.
Okay, that's fair. Well, look, I said I'd be quick. So before I let you go, this probably wouldn't be the case for you guys. I'm sure you're going to have no trouble. But if the next few weeks go by, let's say, and you still haven't had your home sold, at that point, would you guys be open to meeting with me to explore other options?
I don't know. A lot of things in this subdivision move really quickly, so I'm thinking I'm going to sell it on my own.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. Like I said, I really don't think you guys are going to have that problem. But let me ask you this. In the meantime, when we hang up, I would love to send you a copy of my for sale by owner backup plan for you to review. And if you would like to meet down the road, we can do that. Is that fair enough?
Sure, I'll receive it. Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, perfect. What's a good email for you?
Daryl@darylmcneil.com.
Okay, perfect. So you have the option here of deciding, do you want to continue the conversation, right? Or you want to end it. Now he said he gave me some resistance, which to me is going to say, I don't really need to continue the conversation right now. I want to send him the for sale by owner backup plan. Notice I just got his email address, even when he said that he's going to continue to sell on his own. But my goal here is the follow-up game, right? The game is in the follow-up, right? That's how I'm going to eventually convert them is by continuing to follow up with them week after week. Weekly, I will be checking in with them, right? And I want to send them things of value. So for instance, I can send them an updated CMA. I can send them all the updated properties that sold in the area, right? And just be like, hey man, I just wanted to make sure you were up to date on the sales that are happening. This home just sold that was kind of similar to yours. Because here's the thing, why would I want to send him homes that are going under contract or selling that are similar to his close by?
So he can see what his might go for and some of the activity around him.
You would think that, but what else will it instill or plant seeds
Oh,
in?
your memory of who you are, rapport that you're looking out for him.
That's correct. You're not wrong. This is all part of that, right? Like I'm setting myself up as the experienced person and I'm doing these things to continue nurturing him, but I'm planting seeds of what in his mind? Because he's seeing other homes around him selling.
Mm, doubt.
Yes. I'm planting seeds of doubt that he is doing something wrong without it
Mm,
seeming aggressive, right? Because I'm sending him, hey, this one just went under contract just like yours. Hey, this one just sold just like yours, right? All of a sudden they're going, well, dang,
wow.
I haven't even had a showing this weekend, right? All of a sudden they're questioning, well, can I do this? Can I really do this? Is this working? What's wrong? Like, why is everybody else around me selling? That is the best thing that you can do for somebody that said, we're waiting, right? Is to continue to plant those seeds of doubt that other things around, right? One of the best things that I love to use when I have a follow-up script, right? So let's say I call them back the next week and I'm calling to see how the activity was. Hey Daryl, whew, let me tell you, man, it was a busy weekend in real estate. I wrote an offer and I was showing properties like crazy. How are things with y'all? Y'all must have got an offer this weekend, huh?
Hi there. I have a lot of realtors calling me. I'm so sorry. I'm not interested in listing my home with a realtor right now, but thank you for calling.
No, that's fair. That's fair. All right, you got real aggressive with me. But the whole idea is I'm coming at him with the idea of like I had a crazy busy weekend and I'm planting those seeds in his mind like, well, we didn't even get a call or like we didn't even get a showing, right? Like I didn't get an offer. Like why is he so busy? Like what's going on, right? Again, I'm planting those little seeds of doubt like the market's on fire right now. Like, man, you guys must have had some crazy showings this weekend, huh? And then they're like, No, like we haven't, no, I got a phone call, you know what I mean? Like, or more realtors called me, right? That's the idea. And so again, I'm subtly planting those little seeds of doubt in their minds of why they may want to give up, that it's not working, right? Now, if I continue the conversation where let's say he wasn't really shutting me off and being like, oh, I'm going to continue to sell on my own. One of the best statements I usually get from them is like, yeah, you know what? We're going to give it a month or two on our own, and then we're gonna consider that option, Drake. So, you know what I mean? Because I asked, would you be open to exploring? Right? So that's the words I want to hear is like basically they telling me, when are you going to give up? That's what that question is. When are you going to give up? That's what I'm asking. Or if you're even going to give up. And so if they tell you like, no, if it doesn't sell, we're going to die with this property, that's up to you whether or not you want to believe that. Because like I said, everything's an illusion, right? They may say, if it doesn't sell, we're gonna stay here, as an option staying put, or we're going to rent it out or whatever. So at that point, you get to decide, do I want to continue to pursue that lead, right? Or would I rather go and find maybe some that are a bit hotter and hear the words that are music to my ears, which says, yeah, we're going to give it 3 months, or we're going to give it 6 months, whatever it is. But I will tell you this, whatever timeline they tell you they give you, cut it in half. If they tell you they're going to give up in a month, give it 2 weeks. Think 2 weeks in your mind. Because let me tell you what's happened. I've had clients tell me that before, and I didn't follow up soon enough. And guess what happened? They listed with another agent because they were there. They called them at the right time. It was all about timing, whatever. They forgot about me, and I didn't follow up, and they gave up much sooner. I had somebody, I went on the actual appointment. I toured the whole property with them. I looked at everything, and they had told me they were going to give it a couple months. He called me back, y'all, the next morning and was like, we heard your presentation. And he was like, we don't know what the hell we're doing. He's like, come list our house. Like, gave up, not even a day. Not even a day he called me back, right? So I went on that appointment. So think about if I would have taken that illusion and been like, well, I'll just follow up in a month, right? If I would have bought into that illusion and they only gave it a couple days, right? The good news is I made a good enough impression where he thought to call me back immediately. But I'm saying this in the aspect of don't believe everything you hear, right? Take everything that they say with a grain of salt and assume. I'll tell this story all the time and I'll continue to beat it as a dead horse. I had a for sale by owner that told me he had a daughter in real estate. Okay. And that is one of the toughest ones I feel like to overcome is when they have a family member in real estate, I have to list with them. But I will tell you this, I learned a very deep lesson from this one. He said he had a daughter in real estate. I continued to follow up. I went on the appointment anyway. I went look at the property. I looked at it. I made a great impression with him. Continued to follow up. Eventually, he broke down in a conversation where I was following up with him, asking him how the home sale was going. And he's like, yeah, it's not going so well. He's like, you know what? I think we're going to go ahead and list. Can you come over? And I was like, what? Okay, cool. So I came over and, we're having the conversation, walking through the house, talking about the listing process. And he's like, yeah, he's like, my daughter's a realtor, but she's a nurse full time. He's like, she don't know what she's doing. She sold maybe 2 houses in her career, right? So tell me, why did he tell me the daughter thing? He was trying to get rid of me, right? He was using her with no plans of ever really using her to be his realtor, right? He was using her as a ploy to kind of get rid of me or to create this illusion of it's never going to happen, buddy. Beat it, right? So don't believe everything you hear, because the truth was his daughter wasn't a great agent and he never planned on listing with her anyway. He was just using that. Just like they'll say, my cousin's a realtor, oh, I'll probably use them. That's not always the case. It really isn't. Half the time I'll ask them, well, what's their name? Maybe I know them. And they're like, uh, uh, they can't even think of their name, right? So I'm just like, okay, yeah, you must really love them, right? Like that is 1,000% a key of like, nah, y'all ain't close enough. I got this, right? So, um, sorry, I went kind of long-winded there and went off, but don't believe everything you hear. All right, so here you decide, should I continue the conversation? So got it. Okay, so how long do you think you'll try to sell on your own before you might consider other agents as myself? So sometimes right here, when I ask this question, they may tell me, hey, we're going to give it a month, or we're going to give it 2 months, we're going to give it 6 months, whatever, that we're going to try. But if they don't tell you that here, when you come up through this point and you get their email, you can ask them, got it. So, again, just curious, how long do you think you guys are going to try to sell on your own before you might consider other agents like myself, right? And they may say, Drake, I appreciate the question. We'll probably give it about 2 months, or, we'll give it 6 weeks, see how it goes. And here again, Can I make a recommendation before I let you go? Right? Unarmed, disarming, right? I'm not saying anything that's gonna, create any resistance with them. Obviously, I love this. I love this statement. Remember this statement, y'all. Obviously, you're not gonna do anything unless it makes sense, right?
Mm.
I'm telling them, I know you're not stupid, right? You're not going to do anything that doesn't make sense. So if I could help you get the home sold without having to deal with all of the headaches and everything that comes with dealing with showings and get you the money you need in your pocket bottom line, would it be totally ridiculous for us to meet right now? You remember our goal is to get toe to toe, right? So right here, they just told me I'm going to give it, a few months on my own or whatever, but I'm open to you sending me your backup plan. Here's my email address. They're giving me clues that they're still open. They're not shutting off the relationship. So this question right here is money because again, I was making it look like I'm just going to send you an email, like continue to do it on your own, but I'm bringing this little curveball in and I'm saying, look, I know. Obviously, you're not going to do anything unless it makes sense. But if I could help you get this home sold right now without any headaches, right, and get you the money you need in your pocket, bottom line, would it be ridiculous for us to meet right now? The reason I use the words, would it be totally ridiculous? Because you're thinking we're getting that terminology in their mind. Well, no, it wouldn't be totally ridiculous. Like, yeah, of course, I know you're not going to force me to do anything I can't do, right? I'm in control, right? Again, illusions of control. Would it be crazy for having an agent just stop by and check out your house, right? Or just explore the idea of if we would list your property, if I can get it sold for you, right? And the commission not even be something that you bat an eye at, right? Because that's the thing. Get the money you want, bottom line. Okay, so let's do this. I propose, let's do this. I can probably move some things around. I'm a busy agent, right? My schedule can be wide open, guys, but I'm always gonna be like, I can probably move some things around and squeeze you in between two appointments either tonight or would tomorrow work better for you, right? I'm not saying I'm wide open. I'm not a brand new agent, right? I have a busy schedule. I have a lot of things going on. I'm gonna fit you in between the gym and lunch with my mom, right? They don't have to know that. I can squeeze you in between these two appointments. Perfect. So when we hang up, I'll send you an email to confirm our appointment, right? And I'll also include my resume, which outlines my marketing plan. Can you review that prior to our meeting? I'm getting a little micro commitment from them, right? I'm already setting them up that I'm their professional and that here's the way that things work without it feeling like it's too much, right? I'm gonna send you appointment confirmation. I want to send you over a copy, my agent information or my marketing plan, my resume, my backup plan, whatever you want to send them. Great. I'll email it to you shortly. And if there's some reason that time doesn't work for you on my side, I'll let you know. And if anything on your side changes that gets in the way of our meeting, can you let me know? All right, great. Sounds good. See you on Thursday. What do you think? Any aha moments with this script?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay. Now, the beautiful thing is, guys, once you learn this formula, you can apply this to literally any type of lead. So for instance, expireds. You just have to change the fact that you don't send a for sale by owner backup plan, right? You still use the same tonality. You still use the paperwork to kind of confuse them and throw them off, right? You still ask the same questions. Hey, I know you guys took it off the market. You're probably not thinking of selling it right now or putting it right back on the market, but at some point, you know what I mean? Do you guys plan to put it back on the market? It's the same questions. I'm just changing the phrasing a little bit, right? It's just thinking about who it is on the other side and what their goal is. They already tried with another agent, right? So now all their headaches come from actually, I worked with a realtor who sucked, who didn't get the job done, who didn't tell me the truth about my price or whatever it is. So the beautiful thing is, boom, we have the same script, very similar, right? Same thing. If I'm working with expireds, hi, name, right? I'm asking, hey, Brady, this is Drake. I'm a local realtor. I was calling about the home that's for sale. I'm sorry, I'm calling about the home that was for sale that came off the market. I'm curious, did you guys end up accepting an offer on that property? Right? It came off the market, but I'm playing dumb in the aspect, I know it expired, but I'm playing dumb in the aspect of, did you guys end up accepting an offer and like take it off the market? You know what I mean? Like you guys have an offer and they're like, oh, no, no, we just, we decided to let it cool off a little bit or whatever. Or we decided to give it a break. They said interest rates are too high. Nothing's selling right now, is what my agent told me. Oh, okay. I was just curious. Are you guys still considering offers on the property if it made sense? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we would take offers. All right, no, you know what? We're gonna wait a little while. We moved back into the house and whatever. We decided, we needed to make some repairs. We decided to redo the countertops or, whatever they came up with. We decided to paint. There's usually some kind of reasoning or something there, right? We still have the tenants in there. We're gonna let them rent for a little longer and figure out what we're going to do in about 3 months or so and maybe figure it out. In a month, we're going to look at it all over again and maybe interview new agents. There's a bunch of different things that they'll come up with, right? Um, okay, great. Well, I was hoping to stop by one day this week to preview your home before getting to work. If you were able to show me the home quickly tomorrow afternoon or Thursday evening, would that be better? Right? So it's the same thing as the FSBO. I'm trying to get toe to toe with them. This is that script where all I'm doing is just asking them if they're still open to taking offers. Great. I'm going to be previewing homes in the area for sale. I want to see yours. It's the same formula, right? I'm just changing up my scripting in the fact of now I'm saying, did you get an offer on the property? Did it come off why did it come off the market? Right? Okay, and then I'm going to email you a copy of my information for your records, right? What is a good email for you? Set up the appointment. Again, the goal is when I'm working, when this is a new lead that I'm trying to work, I'm trying to get as many face-to-face appointments. The more you get face-to-face with home sellers, guys, the more confident you're going to get, the better listing agent you're going to be. You have to do this. And here's the thing, people get this analysis paralysis of like, I need to know my scripts. I need to know exactly what to say. My presentations need to be perfect. Like everything needs to be top notch. Absolutely not. That is going to keep you from ever progressing in this business. Go screw up. I don't know how to tell you that, but fall forward. Go put your foot in your mouth. Go have a really awkward appointment with somebody because you're going to learn from each and every one and you're going to get better. I have gotten I have gotten asked to leave from someone's house. And let me tell you, I learned what not to say. Right? And it's like I look back on it and I just have to laugh. It was embarrassing in the moment, but the house was gross and I was kind of a little honest with them, right? About the fact of like it just wasn't in good shape. And I am usually a tactful person, but they got offended. And so he asked me to leave and I was like, "All right, have a good day." So, it was one of those situations. So I'm just like, you can't win them all, but at the same time, I'm out there falling forward. I'm learning from each appointment, right? I'm understanding how to talk to clients and how to make things more palatable and what not to say, right? I'm not going to blow smoke up their butt, but I'm going to still be honest with them and tell them what they really need to know in order to be able to sell. So now let's go through the same thing. This is when I want less appointments. I want to find those hotter leads, right? After I've already gotten used to talking to so many sellers and I need to be valuing my time and I need to find the hottest of the hot leads. So we're changing it up a little bit. I'm calling about the home for sale on Main Street. It came off the market. Did you end up accepting an offer? Is it still available by chance? Okay, great. I'm curious. Just curious. Are you considering offers on the property if it made sense? Okay, cool. Elena, she said she's open. You know what I mean? They're still open to taking offers on the property. Great. I'm a little surprised the home didn't sell. Elena, what kind of feedback did your last agent give you?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me? Okay. What kind of feedback? Wait, I'm sorry. Is this an expired listing?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm saying
Uh,
I'm looking at it online, and I mean the pictures look nice, Elena. I'm surprised the home didn't sell. What kind of feedback was your agent giving you?
the feedback they gave me after like people looked at it from the showing agents was just like the colors were, I don't want to paint the whole house, but they're telling me that the colors are just a little on the dark side. But I just don't have 10 grand to drop on painting the entire interior of the house.
Yeah, that's really frustrating. I hate to hear that. You're not the first I hear that happening to as well. What do you think stopped the home from selling? Do you think it was that, or do you think there was something else?
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like if someone wants to paint us, just paint. But on the other hand, I guess, we didn't get any offers. So, I guess I'm just gonna kind of sit on that and think if we should just bite the bullet and paint the interior or not. But, we still want to sell. I haven't crossed that bridge yet.
Yeah, that's fair. Thanks for sharing that with me. Look, I was calling because I do specialize in selling homes that other agents failed to sell. And I was curious if you'd be open to meeting with me so I can share with you maybe why your home didn't sell and potentially a plan that will cause it to actually sell for you. And if you choose, sell what you choose because you're not going to, oh, right. And then you say the part about like, look, and I know you're not going to do anything unless it makes sense, right?
Hmm. Right.
All right. So potentially, I would love to meet with you if you're available. I have Tuesday at 3 p.m. to about 5 p.m. open, or I have Wednesday afternoon between 4 to 6. Which one works better for you, Elena?
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do Wednesday.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to put you in my calendar. I'm going to send you an invite if you want to accept that in your calendar as well by email. I'll also want to send you a copy of my resume so you can see exactly how my plan works. What's a good email for you?
Okay, yeah. ElenaRlad@gmail.com.
Perfect. So before I let you go, I have a couple of quick questions I want to ask so I can prepare for our meeting, right? And so this would be
Okay.
this upfront listing script. This would be asking them things about the home that I would need to know because I'm coming there prepared to sign a listing agreement, right? But she doesn't necessarily know that. I said, I'm going to go through this plan. And there's many times where people have agreed to meet with me, but they're like, yeah, but we're not listing right now. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. And guess what? They listed with me on the moment I went. Like,
Mhm.
I know that
Hmm.
for a fact. They do not plan to list, and there's many times that
Hmm.
I walk out of
What?
there with a signed listing agreement because I knocked them off their game with my plan. Like they were so impressed with everything that I had to say. They were just like they texted me later and we're just like we were not planning to list, but like your presentation was so great and everything you went through, we was just like let's do it. He seems confident. He had a game plan in mind, and I did. I sold it. Like
Hmm.
these people raved about.
Yeah, and it's so great because it like honestly just gets you in the door, and that's your goal. This is great.
Because that's the thing, I'm not going to pressure them to list. I'm just going to go
Hmm.
there, present information, talk about why it probably didn't sell, not crap on their agent. That's the other thing you need to emphasize, guys. Don't fall down that rabbit hole of crapping on what their other agent did. What you can
Hmm.
place is that here's the things that I do that do work, right? You
Hmm.
can ask them and sympathize with them. Well, what was your greatest grievances about working with your last agent, right? Well, they didn't communicate with me. They didn't let me know what was going on. They didn't do any open houses. They didn't tell me if they were running any social media ads. Like they never showed the house once. Like they're giving me all these objections and things that I know if I'm going to keep this listing, I need to make sure I'm doing the opposite of all of those things, right?
Hmm.
I don't personally
Yeah.
do open houses because I don't believe in them, but I'm going to explain to them the strategy of why I don't do open houses. Right. And I'll
Hmm.
tell them straight up, if you want me to do open houses on your house, perfect. I don't mind. I will have somebody on my team do an open house. But I'll tell you right now, I've never had a listing sell because of an open house. I've had it usually maybe pressure another agent to come do a showing prior to the open house because they think it might sell because of the open house. But I said
Hmm.
mostly it's for my agents to get leads of buyers who might come to your property, or it's mostly nosy
Hmm.
neighbors that want to come and look at your home. But I said, but if it
Hmm.
makes you happy, I'm more than happy to do open houses for you. But that is my own personal belief and my own personal strategy, and I will ride that till I die. But that's up to you guys. I mean, you may see it differently or feel differently, but that's just the way I present it to my seller and the way that I believe it. And you can show them even statistics online that actually shows the amount of people who buy a home from an open house, and it's slim to none, right?
Right. Hmm.
But it's up to you guys. Again, some people want to get leads, do it, right? If that's your way of getting leads, do it. But the whole idea here, again, is notice how it's all the same wording, though, that I used before, right? Coming from a place of curiosity. This, let me tell you, this is one of the most powerful terms in there that you can ever use because they will never hear that from another agent. I'm an agent who specializes in selling homes that other agents fail to sell. That is one of the craziest terms that I ever was introduced to and used for expireds. And let me tell you, the second you can present yourself as I literally specialize in this, all of a sudden they go, "Oh, what? Brr. You what? You
It sets
specialize?"
you
Like,
apart right there in their mind. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And so that's the thing is I do this all the time. I come in, I figure out what they did wrong. I get it listed, I get it sold for you, baby. Like this is how we're gonna do it. Right. And that's where the confidence comes in, where they're going to be like, oh, wow, this is awesome. I'm so excited to work with an agent who knows what they're doing. Like they're going to fix this situation, right? Because that's the thing. At the end of the day, they already are the hottest seller lead that you can find. They already believe in working with a real estate agent, right? So now they just need to work with a good one. So that's the point is, understanding how to be able to be the person who's going to solve that problem for them. But again, everything's about getting toe to toe. And the stuff that you send them, guys, if you don't have any kind of resume or any kind of presentation to send sellers, I tell you guys to get on Canva and create something to be able to sell them. Mine is nothing that's super crazy, but I can show y'all. Let me see. I have so much crap on this, y'all. It's probably gonna take me 10 minutes to just find my guides and documents here. Yeah. Okay. So here's my expired listing guide. Says get your home sold for the highest price, no exceptions, no excuses, right? Hire an expert who specializes in selling homes other agents failed to sell, right? Again, I'm instilling in their mind, like, wow, this guy literally specializes in this. You know what makes me look like I truly specialize in this? The fact that I even have a guide built that says I specialize in this, right? You want to create an illusion, right? You can talk about what your program includes. I can save you all these different things. These are all the things that I offer. It may be the same things other agents are offering, but let me tell you, they don't have a presentation that usually says that they offer all of these things,
Mm.
right? Everything one by one, I'm presenting this value. These are all the things that I do. I need to update this because, now, I talk about, how the compensation works, but, we've changed it up now with the new buyer agency agreement. And I have a little about me. All you got to do is do a little biography. That's a one-page filler. And then boom, the last one, I'll never pressure you. If you feel like you'd like to meet to discuss these details, decide if working together makes sense. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, right? Everything's here. Simple. This is not complicated, guys. Really think about this. What is on here? There's nothing. It's basically what we just talked about. It's a touch point. It's just, again, presenting them that I'm a professional, right? You can either print this and bring it with you when you go there, or you can email it ahead of time. I prefer to email it ahead of time. And the beautiful thing about those guides is I do the same thing with a for sale by owner. It's all just tricky marketing, right? For sale by owner backup plan. I'm the best backup plan, the next best thing to selling your home on your own, right? Look, use this program as your backup strategy. I'm telling you, hey, look, I'm backing up the fact that I don't pressure you. You can absolutely sell on your own. I just want to be the guy that you call when you give up. That's it. I'm laying it out flat. Like, what do you really want, Drake? That's it. That's all I want from you. I just want to be somebody you are going to choose to interview if you get to the point where you want to sell. That's it. I level with them. That's the whole idea. Same thing the program includes everything. Full LMS listed, talk about your social media, proactive marketing, everything you're going to do. Just again, about me page. This same page can be recycled, right? Next best thing to selling on your own, contact me today. Simple, right? It's only a few pages long. And once you kind of have that template built out, you can make a guide for anything, y'all. Pre-foreclosures, divorcees, like, I mean, I'm trying to think. Oh, for rent by owners, right? Investors, right? For rent by owners, you can make a guide for every single one of them and have that ready to go. And now you have something to send to all these people when you call them. The cool thing is we only got to go through for sale by owners and expires because I do think these are the hottest of the hot of low-hanging fruit. But there's absentee owners, right? Which are people who own a property in another area, and nobody's living in it, right? It's empty. It may be a rent, it may be a landlord, right? Or it could be they inherited it from a family member and it's just sitting there, right? Probates, right? You can make a script, but specifically, hey, I work with probates, Or, hey, I work with people who have empty homes. I specialize in people with helping them figure out what they do with empty homes. Referral partners, this is like my script book has a whole bunch of other things in it as well. I even talk about like, how to get a price adjustment from a client. There's a bunch of other things in here, but we could talk about, I have follow-up scripts. So, right, how to, because the whole idea is now it's like, well, Drake, what do I say after I hang up with them? What do I say the next day, or the next time when I follow up with them? There's really not much to the follow-up script. The whole idea is just calling them back and making sure they don't forget about you. Don't get so hung up on what you say. And then the cool thing is I even have how do we, the 5 steps to responding to any objection. We're running out of time, but it's, using all of these different things, because they're going to tell you all of these things. So for instance, I'm no longer interested in selling. If they ask, what is the new information for expired? Hey, I have some new information for you. Well, what is this new information? Like, give it to me now over the phone, right? Again, an objection without, getting you there. For sell by owners, well, do you have a buyer for my property? Right? Yeah, I want to wait to sell. I have a friend in the business. Obviously, I have a family member. I have a sister, my cousin's wife, my best friend's hairdresser's dog groomer is whatever. They're going to throw you all these names, right? I'm not interested in working with an agent. Hey, I totally understand. In this market, you probably won't have any problem selling on your own. But you pivot to the next question. We go back. Remember, nothing shakes us up. You can sit there and get all hung up on the fact that they said they're never working with an agent and get all, flustered, or you can just acknowledge it and go, hey, you're probably going to have no trouble. But let me ask you this. If a couple of weeks go by, at that point, would you consider working with an agent? And you give up. I'm going to use the same agent. That's a typical one for the expired. Well, I'm just going to relist with the same property. Hey, that makes sense. Using the same agent obviously seems like the easy choice, which is why it still might make sense for us to meet, right? Or what I'll even say, hey, Mr. Seller, that makes sense. Using the same agent would be the obvious, easy choice. But may I tell you why that is a concern of mine, right? Or why this is very concerning to me? Or can I warn you of a possible danger in that situation, right? I'm creating curiosity where they go, wait, what? How much do you charge, right? Well, what's your listing fee? You know what I mean? They want to get the commission, over the phone. There's all these different things. I'm happy to send you guys this script so you guys can have a copy of it and look through it, start practicing some of these scripts in your business. The beautiful thing is I have even a listing appointment in here and even your listing consultation script. So if you get a listing appointment, all that's in here, which we can also cover. I am going to cover in one of the future calls. We're going to talk about what to do on a listing appointment. But questions, concerns, comments? I know we went over time.
I just wanted to say I was being a smarty pants earlier. I didn't mean to be offensive when I was difficult. I
Oh
just
no, you weren't offensive. I like when people are difficult. It just threw me for a loop at first because I was like, oh wait, we were trying
I
to
just
roll. Yeah.
I threw that in there because I have had experience in following up with someone and they just shut me down. I was like lost for words. So it sounds like I just need to do a little more practice. So thank you
And,
for
and that's the thing, man. They won't shake you up as much when you get used to hearing it all the
of
time.
course.
Right? And when
Exactly.
you can stay cool, as a cucumber, no matter what they throw at you, like, dude, you're
I'm
gonna
getting there. Yeah,
yeah, you're gonna kill it on the phone. You just stay cool as a cucumber. Hey, nothing's no big deal. Like I do this all the time.
sure.
Like, you know what I mean?
Gotcha. Cool.
Brian, I blew through all of it. Did you have any last words or anything you wanted to throw in there?
No, I think everything you said really, was point on. I like all of it.
Mhm.
So I really like that. 'Cause I sometimes I didn't really start it with the whole paperwork thing. It's a kind of interrupt pattern. It kind of just it catches their attention. It's like, who is this calling me? Is this the IRS calling me? It's like,
Yeah.
what are you looking at? So it's
What
like,
papers is
I
he?
like that though.
Like, is he looking at my property taxes? Like,
Yeah,
is that a arrest
yeah,
warrant? Like, what do they hold?
yeah, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
But
All right. Well, good deal, guys. Thanks for coming. I'm trying to think of where I could put the script book for any of you guys that don't have it. I guess Daryl, you're on Instagram. You're in that Instagram channel that I have.
I am. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll just put it in that channel. I'll put that link in
Okay.
that channel. And is there anybody else here that's not in that channel that needs it? Because Mary, you have a copy of it, huh?
Huh?
Oh, you
If
lost
I do, I don't know where it is.
it. Okay. I do want to update it too. I want to add some buyer scripts in there and a few other things, but I'll send you the one that I have right now. And I'll when I update it, I'll get it out there too.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
Cool deal. Thank you guys for coming. Let me remind y'all the schedule. So this week was scripting. So next week we said we'd do a buyer presentation. So we're going to go through buyer's presentation. After that, seller presentation. After that is social media, creating good scripts for social media. So next week is working with buyers. So the buyer's presentation. This one will be interesting. I think you guys will all have some big takeaways because you'd be surprised at how many people don't master the buyer's presentation. It's so important. All right, cool. Y'all have a wonderful week. Go kill it.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye.